Hey guys, I've had a few comments and requests to get some measurements on this wood rack that we've made a few years back. And just to let you know, we're not superior metal fabricators. We pretty much just kind of throwed something together here, but if I can help somebody else that wants to build one for themselves, then I'm just going to give you kind of some measurements on it. It's 4 foot tall by 8 foot long and about 18 inches wide, but you can kind of see what it is. It's actually almost 20 inches wide, and if you stack it a little bit higher than the top, I kind of made it a little bit shorter just to make sure the metal come out right. So I usually stack them, you know, a couple inches taller, but you can make them whatever you want. But this is 2-inch tubing, and the wall thickness is just I don't know what, it's lightweight. It's not real heavy, just because I didn't know how heavy, you know, a rick, a hedge was going to be green, and I wanted to make sure my skid loaders would be able to pick it up. So we didn't make it out of heavy wall. It's nothing special as far as the weight of the tubing. But this panel here is they call it a horse panel, but it's like a 2x4. That's actually measures like 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. But it's pretty rigid welded wire, and we didn't have enough, so I thought, well, I'll skimp here on the bottom. So I've got a couple of 3 or 4 inches there, probably 5 inches where it didn't go all the way to the bottom, but that doesn't create an issue. Once you get this full, you know, nothing falls back that way. But we were just trying to keep from buying another panel and kind of trying to keep it cheap. But one thing I want to show you, if you do make one, this is 1 foot. There's 12 inches to the bottom of this, where we welded on our skid loader plate, and we welded it too low to the ground. And while I got this up in the air, I wanted to show you the back end of the skid loader plate is lower than this, the bottom of the 2x2 tubing. So if you make one, make sure this is at least level with the bottom of that, because what happens when you go to pick that up, it actually has to tilt that forward for your hookups to get in it. So if you make one, make sure this is level with the bottom of your 2x2 tubing. That's the only thing that we don't like about it. We've never have dumped one hooking onto it when it's full, but it makes you a little bit nervous. But you definitely want to put this, if you ever make anything with a skid loader plate that you weld on it, get a piece of that 3-inch flat and weld it on there, because what that does is it keeps this plate at an angle. If we'd have welded this flush, you wouldn't have enough tilt in your tilt arms on your loader to really kick it back when you need to kick it back. So, and we've done it on other things too, but when you weld on, whether it's a hay fork or whatever, when you weld on one of these skid loader plates, put a piece of 2.5, 2, 3 inch, whatever, piece of 2-inch or 3-inch plate, and it'll kick that out at an angle where you'll really be able to use the tilt on your machine. But we kind of went heavy on this. That skid loader plate is 3/8. It's kind of overkill, but at the time they were on sale, and we got it through Titan Attachments. So you can order them online and they'll drop them off FedEx at your door. And they had them on sale at that time, so I bought a couple of 3/8, but you could get by with 1/4 or 3/16 or whatever they got going there. but it works pretty good. It doesn't, it's heavy enough, you know, the tubing's heavy enough doing what we're doing. And like I said, the skid loader plate's kind of overkill being 3/8 plate, or 3/8 thick. But I mean, you order one and 3 or 4 days later it's sitting at your door, so it's pretty handy, really. But it's nothing fancy. I'm sure somebody with better welding skills than me. In fact, Caleb and Bryce, our son and Caleb, welded this, and at the time I didn't have a wire welder, and we ended up using just our portable welder generator that we used to build pipe fence and stuff with. So, but yeah, it works pretty good. I don't know if you can tell down here how that plate sits just a little bit lower. We kind of goofed on that, but it works. And if I build another one, I'm definitely going to raise that up a little taller. So part of it was we needed a good place to weld this piece of flat strap on, and to get it away from that curve on the skid loader plate. But we could have welded that flat up here somewhere, you know, and held it out that way. But to me, the most important part is getting that 3-inch flat in there, or 2-inch flat, whatever it is. Guess I'll measure it and tell you it's 3-inch. And that works really slick as far as being able to tilt your machine and do what you want with it. It's 8 foot to here, so what we did was, I can't remember now, but I think it might have been 24 foot sticks. I'm not real sure. They were 20 or 24 foot sticks of this tubing. So we didn't want to have a bunch of pieces laying around, so we kind of figured up a decent width and height and depth so we could utilize most of that tubing and make it work. So, but yeah, that's it. And this one's just halfway. 4 foot probably to the inside. It's 4 foot to the center. Come around here, Jill, and I'll show you this deal. And we thought about taking this centerpiece all the way down, or, you know, and then welding these into it. But it's just kind of the way it worked out. And like I said, we're not professionals, so it was kind of a fun project. And on a rainy day when we didn't have anything else to do. So, but I'm sure you can get some ideas from it and enhance it and make it better for yourself, and hopefully get some good out of it for yourself. But we weighed a rick of green hedge one time, and it weighed 1,800 pounds. And I'm thinking dry weighed like 13 something. So as far as like your utility tractors, to pick something like this up, you know, oak's going to probably weigh as much as hedge, or maybe more. I don't know. We don't have much oak here where we're at, but hedge is really heavy. And so your tractors, you know, I'm just going to say, you know, a rick, or if you want to call it a face cord, probably going to weigh 13 to 1,800 pounds. So, and most utility tractors, they'll lift, you know, 12, 1,300. So you might get a weight on what a face cord or a rick weighs before you put a bunch of money in one of these, because we all know how high, you know, metal is right now. So to recap here a little bit, those are 22. I mean, the whole distance 22 with the 2-inch tubing on it. and they're 8 foot long and 4 foot high. So right here is 4 foot, but you know, you could go up a little higher, but a lot of times you can just stack another one on there. We were trying to save a little bit of metal in the deal so we wouldn't have to cut into a fresh stick. So anyway, that's it. Works good for us. We've used it quite a bit. In fact, we've used it for other things other than wood. My neighbor needed a stovepipe put in at his new shop, so we used this kind of as a man lift, and he climbed up there and put his pipe up for his wood stove in his new shop. We've had tin blow off of a barn, or you know, raise up off of a barn, and we've got it where we can hook onto it with a skid loader and do the same thing, get up on the barn. And had a neighbor that was tearing the barn down, and we were taking the roof off of it and used it for that. But yeah, there's lots of other uses for it. It works pretty good for us. But anyway, I guess I think that'll do it for today's video. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons, and hopefully this gives you an idea of you know, what we use here. And if you want to any ideas off of it, take it and run and make it like you want to make it, and see if it comes in handy for you. So we appreciate you stopping in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.